Hello everybody, we're here at RemoteCon with yet another very interesting product demo on remote work tools. Here with us we have Crikle, a sales enablement platform built to accelerate remote sales. Armed with high-level security, high quality and reliable audio and video, Crikle's video conferencing functionality is one of the best in the business. Moreover, Crikle is a self-contained solution where you can share pictures, video, text, spreadsheets, PDFs, and much more in the same flow in one seamless transition from start to finish in one secure platform branded with your business identity. It empowers salespeople to elevate their pitch and become experts at remote selling. It was founded in 2019 in London by Divakar Singh, who is also the CEO. Crikle was designed to bridge a growing gap in the market to provide better digital tools to conduct remote guided sales. For our demo here today, we have James Finn, Head of Commercial at Crikle. Hello, James. Nice to have you.
Hiya.
So, indeed, selling or managing to actually express yourself through a video call is quite difficult. How are you trying to solve that with Crikle?
Excellent, yeah. So thank you for the introduction. So Crikle was really founded, as we say, based on the simple point of how do you sell effectively remotely. But it actually stemmed initially before our current commercial landscape, down to the fact that in high-touch businesses where you need to build trust, build risk assurance, you need a specialist or a human touch to sell it, or it's high transactional value. It's always had a long sales cycle, or it could have multiple shareholders and many decision-making points along there. So the whole question was, how could you shorten the sales cycle? How could you be more efficient at it? And how could you help buyers come to quicker and better decisions? So Crikle was formulated, and this is where we are. Now, due to the global crisis at the moment, everyone's asking the same question. How do we work effectively remotely? And as I always say, do you have the right tools at the right time to get the right outcome? At the moment, everyone's looking for solutions to work effectively remotely for the now, but actually the commercial landscape is going to change going forward. And so with Crikle, the way that we tackle this is to actually to allow a presentation that is immersive, that is fluid, that allows your buyers to make guided decisions, all in one solution, where you, the presenter or the seller, control it all the way through. So I'm going to show you in a second just exactly how the platform very simply and easily works, not only for a business, but for any user in terms of actually speaking to their customers, the buyers. But firstly, I'd like to point out just a couple of really simple things that make a big difference in terms of actually getting your customers in the right space. In all of the products that are out there in the video conferencing world, and we don't claim to be a video conferencing solution. We are a sales tool for salespeople to get sales done. The fact that we have a video is just an auxiliary service that actually helps you just communicate along the way with them. But fundamentally, the way that we actually start any call is that we will invite a customer to the call. In one simple click, they give permissions and they're into the call. This works on any tablets and it also works on phones. It's easy for your customers to get on there. They're already nice and put in the right framing. The second part is that the whole platform is white labeled. So even from the email that you send to the moment that you go onto the Crikle platform for the call, everything is the branding of your company. We are not promoting our business. We're here to promote your business. Invariably, what this means is that your value proposition is continued. A lot of businesses spend, back in the olden days when we actually had meetings, that people would spend lots of money on either their showrooms or it could be on their office, all the rest of it. In the same frame, you get to actually continue showing your business and not using a third-party business to dilute your proposition. The other part that we're going to show you is at the moment, you'll see that you're looking at a window or a portal where you can see our logo because it's coming from my account, and you can see the video feed. Throughout the whole presentation, and the fact is whenever you're speaking to your buyers, they're always in the window. This is not a screen sharing platform. Therefore, they are fully engaged. There's no fraction points. And also all the way through that I'll be able to see the customer as well as the presenter. And so you can get feedback the whole time. There is nothing out there that can do this. So let me just show you a little bit more. And also, having said that we're not a screen sharing platform, we do have that functionality for two reasons. One, because it's really good for showing a demo like this. And the second point is actually there are a lot of businesses like certain SaaS companies where you need to open up a second browser so you can actually show live applications. So we do have that ability. So without further ado, let me introduce you and show you Crikle. So I'm now showing you a very simple, cool window for Crikle. In here, you'll see just a framing here, or the presentation will eventually be shown. Up here, we have a home button that takes you to your dashboard, which looks like this, which we'll come back to. You can put a title to the slide. In any slide that you show, you can actually put text in there. You can put colors in here. You can actually make your presentation look better, or your slides, which we'll come to as well. The button that I will actually really show everyone is this button, which actually means that in any live call, there are two ways that you can actually do the call. One is that you can just be on a video feed like we are now. And it could be that we actually want to decide what products or services that we're going to talk about. And then you can manipulate and actually design your presentation as you go along. And it could be that you need to get it in PowerPoints, PDFs, Excel spreadsheets. It could be that you want to put high definition photos in, videos. Effectively, you can put in all forms of media and documentation in here. We even have the option to put in an interactive map where this could be useful for any presentations or any products or services where you actually need to show locations. This would be very beneficial in the travel arena, if travel was even around these days, but we'll have to park that one for the moment. One of the magical things within Crikle, though, is the fact that actually there is a central library, the Crikle library. Now, there's two really important factors for this. One is it means that you can actually store all your presentations that you can use over and over again for future conversations with your buyers. The second one, which is more important, much for larger teams, is that you can have a central database, the library, which looks like this, where you can store all of your presentations or about your products, goods or services, whether they be large or small. And actually, you can just make calls straight from these presentations and actually have them pre-designed and pre-populated before, and then you can just make a call to whoever your client is, or you can either send them an email, put a calendar attachment to it, or you could just copy the link and then put it into a calendar invite and send it, or you could just put it into, if you had the extension, a WhatsApp extension, maybe Slack, or any forms of other communication. In this particular demonstration, though, I would just share it from a user base that we were doing a call on the hoof, as I say, as we go along. So imagine in this conversation that we're going to be talking about a SaaS product. And so there you go. I can just go into my library and select it. Now, before I just go into the normal mechanics of me just doing a presentation as me being a presenter to the customer, I just want to show you how simple it is that I can just choose the slides behind that I want the customer to see. It's not just like when you're in a PowerPoint where things just keep reaming through. I get to choose what the customer sees at all times, whether it be that I download further information because there's other products or services to talk about, or it may be that actually we just need to be short, sharp and sweet and straight to the point, and there's only specific things that we need to talk about. Now, I'm going to come back to some of the functionality in a moment, but just to show you how this looks like without the screen sharing option. So if Alexandra was my customer here, I would now go into the presentation and I would start the presentation and go, hi, welcome to my company. And let's say this was a new business call. I could then go through particular slides where I could talk about any of the features and benefits as you would in the sales call, and we can be interactive, and depending on the discussion points with the customer, I can then choose how this conversation goes, as it would do in any sales meeting if you were there. One of the great things about Crikle is the fact that actually you can use any media that you want. And it may be as part of your sales cycle, part of your pitching, part of your reporting, is that actually you need to use a video. Now, I don't really need to show you much more of it, but the point is I can talk over the top of it, I can pause, but this is amazing, the fact that actually I can just seamlessly put in a video in here as part of the presentation, and then I can move on. As part of the options, we have many different slide options where you can have grids, you can have single options, you can do a plethora of different things. But in any one of these slides, in this grid format, and this pertains all the way through, any one slide can have up to a 50 meg picture, and it can have an unlimited video. Now, depending on your goods, products, services that you sell, this could be fundamentally important. In the medical world, having a high definition video is really important. The art world of goods or services where people need to look and feel and get really detailed into them, where they can't do that in the two-dimensional world, having high visual assets is really important. Also, along with that, we also give you options that you can zoom right into certain parts. And so therefore, for, let's say this was a piece of art, you can really go in to see the texture and you start to feel it. You can get immersed into something that you wouldn't be able to do in a normal presentation. So I'm just going to screen share again. So in the screen share, however, you can see that we've actually put titles on some of the slides. Now, the reason we've put these here is that actually you can pre-populate, or you can do these on the go, where you can actually put customer notes into the presentation beforehand or during. Now, when you speak about a particular aspect or a particular slide of interest to a customer, you can like it, which would then come up on the customer side to show that you have liked it. You can add prices to it, because it could become a price quotation. You can write more customer notes, and you can also write notes that only pertain to you, because maybe that's something that you need to remember in the sales call. You can save them. And what this does is it creates a summary of the calls you go along. Now, this, as I said, this could either be a price quotation, or you can just use it as a summary to show that you've actually been listening, that you've got a call to action because there are notes that have come here. As I say, it's always important in any sales call, in any conversation, that as a salesperson, as the presenter, the seller, the person in control, is that you have a call to action and you are in control of the follow-up. Otherwise, you're only having a good conversation and not a sales conversation. With this, just to show, you can send this to your client, and a copy of this summary or the price quotation will also be sent to you, and you can send a cover note. That means that when the copy that you get sent, you can put directly into your CRM as well, so therefore you actually have a note of it as you go along. If you wanted to, you can also actually close the sales cycle. You can put a payment link in here. You could use a Stripe, and you could complete the sales cycle and actually then try and close it out there and then as another option. We go back to the presentation. There are varying, as I said, there are varying different forms of documentation that you can put in any slide. If I show you behind, again, screen share, just to show how easy this is. If I wanted to add more content, I can add in PowerPoints, PDFs, Excel spreadsheets, photos, and as I said, the interactive map, which you can just include at any given point. And I can increase and keep adding and keep building or manipulating the presentation whilst I have the client engaged on the other end. Whilst I'm on the screen share, I would like to show you one really important facet that is, I believe, imperative when you are doing sales. When we used to be, and I keep using the same, when we used to be in face-to-face meetings, one of the things that you pick up on is very much how you engage with your customer. You pick up on the intonation, you pick up on all the body language, etc. One of the great things about Crikle is also that you get to see your customer all the way through, and I can see Alexandra here. And so the point is, you can see the multiple stakeholders that be on the call, you can see their reactions, and this is really important as well with it. When you're pitching, that you're not just pitching to a blank screen, you actually get to see the person when you go. One final thing that I'd like to show you on Crikle is that this has all been about the individual. As I said, when we talk about having how useful this is for teams, is that when you utilising a central library, it means you get to quantify and qualify the information that your sales team members have access to. So wherever they are working remotely, which we all are currently, it does mean that you can control the data that they're using, and you can build on their methodologies. And so when they're working remotely, they just get better and better using the same processes, the same information to get it across. But in a nutshell, if I was to summarize Crikle, this is all about having an immersive experience with your customers. It's all about sales, and it's about showing your goods, products, or services to the best of their capabilities in high-rich media, with fact that you can actually manipulate and you can change it to your customers' needs, and you can help them, guide them to quicker and better buying decisions. And so therefore, there is nothing like it. And that is, that's Crikle.
Thank you very much, James. Thank you everybody for watching. It's obvious that in the current climate of remote selling, communication and collaboration with current and prospective clients can involve endless back and forth email, multiple communication channels and messy situations. That's why Crikle was designed to bridge a growing gap in the market to provide better digital tools to conduct remote guided sales. Find out more about them on the RemoteCon website and join the conference for more remote work tools. Thank you.